Chair Zadorian, I believe you were muted.
I apologize. Welcome everybody to the February 18th Arts and Culture Commission meeting with the City of Glendale. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Yank,
I'm here.
Bayar,
Here.
Vidor,
Here.
Vice Chair Defencion,
Here.
Chairperson Zadorian.
Here.
The agenda for the February 18th, 2021 regular meeting was posted on February 12th, 2021 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. Item 2, consent items. At 2A, approval of regular meeting minutes from January 18th, 2021.
Okay. Do we have any corrections or edits?
I had a question on item 6B11, where it talks about the Art Happens Anywhere projects. I wasn't sure what it meant between projects en route to launch and process of being launched. Could you just clarify that for me? Like the status of those two?
Sure. Good afternoon, Jennifer Fukutomi-Jones, Arts and Culture Administrator. Thank you, Commissioner Vidor, for that question. The definition between en route is that they are in the process of being launched. So they have they are either started the process or we have contracted with them. The other delineation is ones that are still waiting to be approved, not approved, but to be launched.
Oh, okay. So they're not in process yet. They're
correct
in the waiting room. Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other changes? If not, if we can get a motion.
Okay, I move to approve the minutes as modified for that clarification.
Okay. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Yank,
Yes.
Bayar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Defencion.
You're muted. If you're a yes, put a thumbs up. We can see you. Yes. Okay. That's a yes. I'm going to abstain as I did not take part in the last meeting and we have enough quorum to pass.
Item 2B, approval of the regular meeting minutes from February 4th, 2021.
The special meeting.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, it's a special meeting.
It's okay. Any changes or edits? No? Okay. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes of the February 4th special meeting.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Oh.
Okay.
Commissioners Yank,
Yeah.
Bayar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Defencion,
Yes.
Chairperson Zadorian.
Yes.
Item 3, introductions of presentations. At 3A, Library Arts and Culture events presented by Jennifer Fukutomi-Jones, Arts and Culture Administrator.
Okay, thank you again. Thank you so much. First up, we have on our library report is 15,000 and More, A Plethora of Darkness is a memorial tribute to the lives lost from the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic in Los Angeles County. Best viewed from the front windows of the library at night, each ingot within the exhibit represents a life lost to COVID-19 in LA County. The concept is based upon Chinese ancestral worship of deceased relatives and family members with a special ceremony. A mixture of silver and gold ingots differentiates the deaths of males and females from the coronavirus. This exhibit is sponsored by the Arts and Culture Commission as part of the Art Happens Anywhere program and will be on display at Central Library through June 2021. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. Next up, we have the Reflect Space has launched Reckoning Racism and Resistance in Glendale, a multidimensional and multifaceted virtual exhibition, public art installation, and community engagement project that examines and responds to the city's racist history of anti-Blackness, the resistance to that is racism and our current moment of reckoning. We will hear more from curator Shannon Curry Holmes later on within the agenda, but for more information, please visit the link on the screen. As part of the city's Black History Month programming, Black and Glendale will continue to host a series of community healing circles. Participants are still able to register for healing circles throughout the remainder of the month. And also the commission has sponsored Death Sentence by artist Victor Yates, which is a literary protest performance that is a direct response to police brutality against Black bodies. The creator of the project, Victor Yates, will interweave the last words of Black people murdered by the police into a spoken word poem that contains live parts. The project examines collective Black pain and police violence, the importance of passing down history and queer identity within the Black Lives Matter movement. The videos will be released from February 22nd to 26th as part of Black History Month programming. So for more information, please visit the link on the screen. Next up, on February 25th at 6 o'clock, we will be hosting a panel discussion with moderator Cameron Shaw, who is the Deputy Director and Chief Curator of the California African American Museum, April Bay, who is an artist and arts educator, and Victor Yates, artist and poet, in this panel discussion. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. And last up, after 2 years of an in-person Maker Celebrations with MakerFest, we will be celebrating making virtually in 2021. Explore, learn, and have fun with numerous maker activities. Join workshops, watch interviews, and explore making resources. From coding to music mixing to painting and sewing, we have programmed for all tastes as an introduction to music workshops and a Women in Tech panel discussion. And for more information, you can visit the link on the screen. And that is it for the library report.
Great, then we can go ahead and move forward to the next item.
Item 4, oral communications. Discussion is limited to items not on this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. The commission may question or respond to a speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. The commission may refer the matter to city staff for investigation and report. There is one call. He said he would call back, and I'm waiting for that call.
Okay.
Oh, 1 minute. Give me 1 second.
Okay, do we have them on the line?
It appears as though, at least on my end, I don't see any callers. So I think it is okay to move forward.
Yvonne, let's go ahead and move forward. And I'm assuming we can always open it back up later.
Hi, he should be on.
Okay.
He's on hold now. It's Mark D. Clive Lowe regarding Art Happens Anywhere.
Okay, let me push him through. Hi, Mark, you're on the air at the Arts and Culture Commission meeting.
Hey, how are you all? I just wanted to call in. We've recently finished our With Love from LA project, which was generously supported by the Commission. I just wanted to call in first to thank you all, very much for supporting the project, and just give you a little info on a little data on what happened. We had approximately 7,500 views from our YouTube streams, not including Facebook, which is almost 1,000 hours of watch time. We had a third of the viewers are predominantly Los Angeles based, which for a non-geo-fenced internet experience is a really high percentage. And then since we finished, we've had about 1,500 views, so it's kind of an ongoing content there. And then through the season, provided really much needed income to 15 musicians and 2 production administrators, and we're currently working on concepts for a second season. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that kind of general information, and thank you again, and hope to work with you all on something future. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mark, for calling in.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for joining and calling in. Okay, do we have any questions or comments? I'm going to take that as a no, but we can go ahead and move forward. Okay. Next
Item, I'm sorry. Item 5, action items. At 5A, selection of a chairperson to serve a 1-year term beginning February 2021.
I guess we can go down and see if anyone recommends. I would like to make a recommendation as the current chair. I thank you all for trusting me, and 2020 was a wild ride, lots of video chatting, and I'm very much looking forward to our next chair. I would like to recommend Ms. Caroline Defencion as chair, if she would accept. If there are no other recommendations, please feel free to speak up. If you did want to self-recommend, recommend yourselves or another commissioner, please do so now. No? Okay, then we can go ahead and I guess vote. This would be a vote, correct? As it's an action item.
Yes, Commission Chair, it's a vote.
Okay. Commissioner Defencion or Vice Chair Defencion, do you accept? Are you okay with this?
Thank you very much. Of course, I'm okay with this. This would be great. Thank you.
Good, good. Okay, then let's go ahead and take a vote.
Yvonne, would you like to read the names?
I'm sorry about that. Are we, commissioners, are we doing roll call?
Yes.
We're
so
taking a
sorry.
vote on the commission chair.
Okay. Give me 1 minute. This, my page, okay. Commissioners Yank,
Yes.
Commissioners Vyar,
Yes.
Commissioner Vidor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Defencion,
Do I vote on myself? Yes.
Yes.
Chairperson Zadorian.
Yes. Okay, congratulations. We have our new chair for the 2021 year. I'm very much looking forward to everything you're going to do. Chair Defencion, I'm passing the virtual gavel to you now.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be an exciting year. A lot of great things happening. A lot of great things planned. So thank you for your vote of confidence.
Okay. Well, I will no longer be asking to go to the next item, so that's on you from now on.
That's on me now. Okay. So I guess the next agenda item will be, hold on, let me just pull my thing up.
You can just say next agenda item.
Huh?
You can just say next agenda item.
Next agenda item.
Item 5B, selection of a vice chairperson to serve a 1-year term beginning February 2021.
Okay.
I nominate Commissioner Sue Bell Yank to serve a 1-year term as vice chairperson.
I second that.
Perfect. Chairperson Yank, would you accept?
Yes, thank you. I'm honored. Thank you all.
Okay, very nice. All right. Do we take roll now?
Yes. Commissioners Zadorian,
I would just ask, just to make sure there's no other, Gary Schaefer, Director of Library Arts and Culture, no one else wishes to self-nominate or nominate someone else? I assume not, but we need to ask.
All on board.
Okay, please proceed, Yvonne.
Commissioner Zadorian,
Yes.
Bayar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Yank,
Yes.
Chairperson Defencion.
Yes.
Item 5D, report, I'm sorry, I skipped one. Item 5C, report on the 2021-2022 work plan.
Can I just quickly say on behalf of the library, congratulations to both of you. And we look forward to working with you in the coming year.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank Savannah Zadorian for her service over the last year, because I know she had to come in for every meeting and we worked hard, but it was scary times occasionally. So we appreciate her diligence and leadership during this very difficult year. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. I would have to second that, Savannah. You have led the way in exemplary way, and it has not been an easy year, and you did a fantastic job leading us. So thank you.
Thank you. It's pretty easy with you guys. You guys make it fun and easy. And it's nice to work with all women, I must say. Okay, so we're talking about the work plan currently, right? Sorry.
Yes.
We went back a little bit.
All right. So moving ahead to the next item.
Next item, item 5C, report on the 2021-2022 work plan. At 5C1, motion to approve the programs and projects for the 2021-2022 work plan in an amount not to exceed $1,655,000 from the Urban Art Fund, and to recommend the City Council's approval of the plan.
Yvonne, could you reread the number, please? I believe it's 1 million.
Oh, I'm so sorry. $1,655,000.
Thank you.
Okay. Did we, do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions or comments about that?
Yes.
Chairperson Defencion, if I may,
Yes.
would you like to go in a specific order? We can proceed with the order that we previously had, and we can start with the Vice Chair, Vice Chair Yank, and then Commissioner Zadorian, Commissioner Bayar, Commissioner Vidor, and then Chairperson Defencion.
Perfect. Vice Chair Yank, any questions or comments? We can't.
No. I think my only question was just around the mini park exhibits. I believe we had discussed doing fewer exhibits for a larger amount of money for each. And so in here I see there's still 7 exhibits a year at 7,000 on the breakdown.
Vice Chair Yank, you are correct. Thank you for catching that. And we did update the budget to 10,000 to make it a larger stipend, but fewer exhibits per year. So we will note that and make sure to update that in the work plan.
Okay. That's my only question for right now.
Okay. Commissioner Bayar, any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Vidor?
I'm next. Okay. Just a couple questions. First of all, the budget looks great. I understand it very clearly, but we used to present our work plans in a little different format. And I wonder if there is an intention to be more specific as to what goes underneath each of these items, and then to be able to kind of track our progress as the year progresses. I'm referring back to work plans from, 1 and 2 years ago. So that's one question. And then the other one was I just wanted to revisit the 900,000 for iconic public art to understand what that was intended to be for. And then to Commissioner Yank's question, I noticed that as well and wondered specifically how much we were talking about, because in the minutes we talked about possibly as much as, depending on how complex the pieces were, $2,500 total for each exhibit if they needed an extra 1,500. And if we're talking about 6 exhibits, that would be in the most expensive case, $15,000. If we're going less, obviously 5 exhibits, then it would be less than that. But could we specify here exactly how many exhibits we're talking about? And am I understanding that it's $2,500 maximum payment?
Chair Defencion, may I?
Yes.
Gary Schaefer again, Director, Library Arts and Culture. I'll let Jennifer answer the last couple questions regarding the previous layout of the budget. We did employ a layout artist to create those budgets before, and unfortunately we do not, it's not the best use of funds probably to employ a layout artist to lay out a budget, but we certainly can in the future kind of report on progress, like spending on that as we progress. So that certainly, I'd probably recommend we do that quarterly, just as an update, if that would be sufficient.
Thank you, Dr. Schaefer. I actually wasn't thinking about an artist. I was just thinking more about, if it's a Word document, that there's a table and it says the item and then, status, that type of thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying you had mentioned how we had done it in the past, and I'm just letting you know that we had to employ a layout artist to do that. We'd probably do it in Excel, and we can certainly
exactly. That's what I was
probably
thinking.
on a quarterly basis.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely don't need it to be artistic, even though we're talking about the arts. Okay, thank you.
And I'll let Jennifer answer the other questions.
Sure. Thank you, Director Schaefer, for that clarification. In regards to, I believe you may be referring to, Commissioner Vidor, the template that we had utilized in the past for the Urban Art Program Plan. That is the template that I can definitely utilize moving forward if the Commission so sees that that's the best way in which to review the budget, and I can make sure to do that moving forward. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, just kind of the format, not necessarily adding graphics to it, but maybe, to look at the bullet points that come under each of the major line items. And then, yes, on a quarterly basis, is it complete? Is it not complete? How much money have we spent so far? Because sometimes we spend in increments, exactly that type of thing.
Okay, absolutely. I can definitely make sure to do that. And then per Director Schaefer's recommendation, be it quarterly or biannually, bring the budget update to the Commission. Absolutely. In regards to the Adams Square Mini Park gas station, the question proposed by Vice Chair Yank and yourself, you are correct. I will make sure to update the budget to a maximum of $12,500 to account for the 5 exhibits per year. Okay. As we discussed during the work plan meeting, that is the maximum amount. There's a possibility that it may be lower, but I will make sure to update that budget line.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And then in regards to the iconic public artworks with the $900,000, that is to utilize for approximately 5 to 6 public art pieces, which would be mounted sometime between this fiscal year. Director Schaefer, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Just that those are the pieces that Labas would be working with us on, and that is the amount we anticipate being spent for the next fiscal year towards that project.
So those are specifically costs for artwork that would be curated in coordination with Labas?
Yes.
Okay. Not their fee. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. So where would their fee come out of? Where would their fee be in the budget?
It is under citywide arts, Chair Defencion, under citywide arts, there's a line that says Levast Projects and Consultants Admin. That includes their administrative fee in addition to approximately $20,000 in addition to consultants that we may want to utilize throughout the year.
Okay. Thank you. And did we have a buffer as well, or?
Yes, we have a buffer, a 10% contingency under citywide arts, which is mainly, I believe Director Schaefer mentioned in the February 4th meeting, in case of any additional costs that we had not accounted for example, potential permitting costs or things like that that may occur that we did not consider.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And if there are no other questions, we can move to the next agenda item. Oh, sorry. Savannah.
Go ahead. Yeah, we would need to approve this.
All right. We need to, anybody who would like to move this?
Okay. I will make a, am I on? I will make a motion that we approve the programs and projects for the 2021-2022 work plan in the amount not to exceed is it still the same amount? Or do we have to change the amount, the total amount based on the gas station? So there's a new total amount, right? No?
I would just say as amended.
Okay, as amended, yes, that we will approve the 21-22 work plan as amended for the Urban Art Fund as particularly outlined in the report of February 18th.
I will go ahead and second.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, I'm sorry, we
need to take a vote.
Yes, Doreen Martiros and Commission Chair, we need a vote, please.
Commissioner Zadorian,
Yes.
Vyar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes?
Vice Chair Yank,
Yes.
Chairperson Defencion.
Yes.
Okay. Item 5D, report on comparative municipal mural program assessment. At 5D1, motion to note and file.
Thank you, Chairperson Defencion and Commissioners. I'm incredibly excited to introduce you to Feline Xian, who's our KORO fellow who's been working with us for the past about a month. And she has been doing a stellar job, truly stellar job in doing a comparative municipal mural analysis. And I'm very excited to introduce her. So Feline, are you here?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm here. Hi, commissioners. Hi, Chair Defencion. Hi, Vice Chair Yank. Can you all hear me okay? Okay, great. I'm in Texas right now, and we've been struggling with the weather, so I'm happy that we have internet. Anyways, so it's great to be here with you all, and yeah, I'll be presenting the City of Glendale Mural Comparison and Assessment, which is part of the project that I've been working on for the past several weeks, and Jennifer is going to share. Thanks, Jennifer. So yeah, thank you all for for your attention in advance, and I hope that it's interesting and helpful. We can go to the next slide. So I'll just introduce myself quickly. My name is Feline Xian. I graduated from USC with a bachelor's in environmental studies. And I am a KORO fellow this year. So for those who don't know or who are unfamiliar with KORO, KORO is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that is known for its fellowship in public affairs. So this fellowship basically trains or is a 9-month graduate level experiential leadership training program that should prepare individuals for leadership in public affairs. So we do this in a number of ways, one of which is through our placements, which are listed electoral politics, nonprofit government, business labor. And I completed this project in my government placement, which was with the City of Glendale. So yeah, and I'm going to law school in the fall, which I also added. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so why are we talking about murals today? This is a good question. So in 2018, as you all know, the City Council approved the Urban Art Program plan. In the plan's recommendations, there's a number of references to murals, including commissioning artistic streetscape elements, pairing professional artists with young people to create mural projects. And so this language, in addition to some demonstrated interest from city stakeholders around murals, basically prompted the creation of this assessment. So how I've done this assessment is basically by comparing 4 other cities and their kind of mural programs with that of the city of Glendale. And I hope that's through kind of looking at how other cities work on murals, the city, the city will get some ideas also of how to proceed with this exciting project. So, okay, so we can go to the next slide. So I'll start with the city of Glendale and kind of, talk about where we're at the moment and kind of, and that will hopefully inform sort of where we're going as well. So as many of you also probably know, the city of Glendale currently classifies murals as signs, as outlined in section 30.33.230 of the Glendale Municipal Code. So the code states also that murals may only be installed or maintained if they have been approved by the design review process as outlined in chapter 30.47 of the Municipal Code. So this seems straightforward enough. However, a number of issues do arise with this method of reviewing and approving murals, which I will outline now. So first, the original authority to approve or deny murals rested with the Glendale Design Review Board, as again, perhaps you know. And this has recently changed, and now the Arts and Culture Commission is in charge of approving murals. So this is wonderful news, a great step in the right direction, I would say, because it also removes the $3,840 filing fee that was originally part of the mural application process. So obviously this is a very high fee. It can be very challenging for artists or for applicants to pay this fee. So it's also a good thing that fee is no longer here. However, that fee used to kind of account for staff time and the time that it took staff to review applications. And so one challenge that the commission will face is basically deciding how to account for staff time in the absence of this fee. So that's kind of the first question. The second question, or the second point, is that there is currently a lack of clarity around the mural application process. So it can be very difficult for an artist to kind of know who they should contact if they want to start a mural application. It can be challenging to know, where to begin, kind of what are the steps. Like it's not super straightforward as it stands. And especially I think for artists who are not fluent in city commissions and municipal codes, it can be particularly daunting to start a mural project. So that's the second point. So finally, once an artist has received the necessary paperwork, kind of has the tools in front of them, kind of the steps to actually complete the mural application is also relatively challenging. There are kind of a lot of steps that need to be undertaken, some of which kind of requires some perhaps like bureaucratic or legal support, which can take several weeks, perhaps months, which obviously can also be a bit discouraging for an artist. So these are some of the challenges. And from this analysis, I concluded that the city of Glendale could really improve the way that they, look at murals, evaluate murals, because one of the stated goals of the Urban Art Program is, of course, to have a vibrant public art scene and really make Glendale an arts destination in the Los Angeles region. So the hope is, through this process, we can really get there. So, okay, that's the initial assessment. So let's start with the city of West Hollywood. So the city of West Hollywood has taken notable steps to make their mural application process clear and streamlined. I really love that when you Google West Hollywood Mural Program, the first thing that comes up is really a step-by-step kind of application process for how to apply and install your mural. Their program basically consists of 2 parts. It is the program itself and also the Muralist Roster, which I'll speak about in a moment. It's Important to note that the City of West Hollywood has no mural ordinance at all. Rather, the authority rests in the hands of the Arts and Culture Commission, who approved the plan that now exists. There's no fee to create or to apply to create a mural in the City of West Hollywood, and the city also does not require community input before a mural application is approved. So that's, you know, decisions that they've made as a city. So that's that slide. So we can go to the next slide. This outlines some of the criteria that the City of West Hollywood uses to evaluate murals, or I guess, yeah, like mural applications. So these are concept, scale, context, feasibility, and then supplemental materials. So I will kind of quickly go into those. So although I don't know how much I have to explain some of these criteria to an Arts and Culture Commission, who probably are more familiar with this than I am. So concept, of course, strength of concept, originality, craftsmanship, scale, appropriateness of scale for the surrounding environment, context, that it should be consistent with the City of West Hollywood's codes. It should be feasible, of course, and possible to create, and then whatever supplemental materials should be provided. Finally, I've also included the process for the Muralist Roster application. So these are sort of just the components: website, online portfolio, artist statement. So essentially just examples of past work. And these applications are evaluated twice a year. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So here is the City of Los Angeles. So the City of LA has a slightly more complex, yet still relatively straightforward mural application process. It was actually born kind of a similar situation that the City of Glendale finds itself in now, because previously in the City of LA, murals were also classified as signs, and the Mural Ordinance and Program was created to sort of differentiate what is a commercial sign, what is an original mural artwork. But the through line really with the City of LA and the City of West Hollywood is that they both have very clear, straightforward application processes, which I really think is a strength kind of in, I guess, in kind of mural program world. So yeah, so the City of LA does have a mural ordinance, and when asked, city staff noted that the ordinance really protects artists while also existing as a funding mechanism, which further cements the program within the city mandated ordinance. You know, it validates the arts department and the work of the Department of Cultural Affairs. Let's see. So, okay, ultimately the Cultural Affairs Commission in LA only approves murals that are on city property, while the staff of the Department of Cultural Affairs approves murals that are not on city property, and the commission is not involved in this decision. They do require community input. When I asked about this, they said that, yeah, the community input is required, but it is sort of a suggestion that then the artists can kind of take in stride, and the property owners can take in stride and sort of decide how to best implement. But the community should be involved in sort of how it goes. Finally, the request for qualification is similar to kind of this Muralist Roster that the City of West Hollywood put forth. And this also happens, or they put out the call for kind of artists to join this roster every 2 years. I'll very quickly go through the criteria on the next slide. So the components of the application process for murals in LA are kind of also relatively straightforward, kind of, yeah, as you can read: contact information, time, place, manner regulations, neighborhood involvement, and attachments. I'll really briefly discuss or just share what are the time, place, manner regulations that the city asks for. Those are kind of just that a mural must remain in place without alterations for a minimum of 2 years, should not exceed the height of the structure to which it is tiled, excuse me. So kind of straightforward, what you would think of, I guess, in that capacity. Okay, next slide. Then kind of the roster, again, is sort of, these are the criteria. I'm kind of listing the criteria because I think it's helpful to sort of see, I guess, yeah, the criteria that other cities use to kind of create this project. So having a professional to technical capacity to plan, respond to the environment, acknowledgement of the social and historical context of the city, and then being experimental and innovative. So that's LA. we have two more cities. These are shorter because I think kind of the West Hollywood and LA comparisons are the most relevant, obviously, to Glendale since they're very close. But the city of Portland stands out because that was actually the inspiration for the West Hollywood mural program. So I thought to kind of include it as a peek into sort of where other cities have also drawn their inspiration. And also kind of just identifying the criteria that they review murals for. So again, concept, scale, and execution. So obviously having an original concept, excellence in execution, context and design. So yeah, creatively responding to the site and the neighborhood. Finally, support. So support obviously from the property owner, and then feasibility to complete the project. So that's Portland. And then the last city, which is a little interesting and different, is the city of Ithaca. So I had the pleasure of speaking with an activist actually who kind of works on murals in Ithaca, and their situation is a bit different, which is why I wanted to highlight it, because I think it helps for comparative purposes. The city or the mural program kind of in Ithaca is run actually by a volunteer group that is not affiliated with the city and is not affiliated with the Public Art Commission, because the Public Art Commission doesn't exist anymore in Ithaca. And so basically, yeah, this kind of group of volunteers fundraise independently and then sort of I guess, put out calls for artists to put up murals in the city. So this is another, I guess, way that in a city murals are created. So these are kind of the 4 cities that I researched. And finally, we can conclude with the final assessment. So I kind of identified 3 points that I guess are important takeaways. The first is kind of that Glendale can hire a public art ordinance expert to sort of continue on certain technical matters of this project. So the first technical matter is essentially deciding whether the city would like to proceed with a mural ordinance or no mural ordinance. Because as we've seen, West Hollywood has no mural ordinance, LA does, and both, are successfully putting up murals. So I think there's kind of some questions that can inform that decision. The second point that this person can assist with is creating a budget for mural application review processes. So as I noted, there's a almost $4,000 filing fee that was previously associated with mural applications. That's really not an ideal thing. And so kind of, can we create a budget for this staff time? So that's point 1. Point 2 is creating a clear and accessible mural application process. This process would delineate application evaluation criteria, application components, and then also would be published online very clearly and directly, so that the application is easy to find, which will really alleviate some of these challenges that sometimes artists have, maybe of finding how to even start the process. And finally, creating a muralist roster similar to West Hollywood and Los Angeles could also be a great way to sort of ensure that the quality of art is really great and kind of fitting with some of the, I guess, values of the city, while also making it easier and more accessible for property owners to link up with artists and kind of really get this program moving. So these are sort of all the things. Thank you so much for bearing with me. There was a lot of information there, and 4 weeks of worth of work. So thank you for listening in, and I'm happy to take any questions. And I really appreciate your time, commissioners, today. It's a real pleasure to be here with you all.
Okay, thank you so much for that very comprehensive report. Any questions or concerns of Vice Chair Yang?
I just wanted to say thank you. That was really great research. I think it clarified a lot for me about, the comparisons of these different cities. So I really, really very much appreciate the report.
And am I going in the right order? Commissioner Zadorian, Bayar, and then Vidor? Is that the Jennifer?
I'm Zadorian, so I would figure I'm last, but I would love to go next. Well, first of all, I want to say congratulations on your fellowship. I know that it's not the easiest first of all, to be chosen as a KORO fellow. So congratulations, and on applying to law schools, because that's also not easy or stress-free. So to be doing all of that while also helping us out it's a big deal. So congratulations, and I hope you get into every school that you apply to. For the presentation, amazing. One, because it's definitely very concise and compacted into everything that we need to know. First, as commissioners, it's easy because you got through every point and you let us see it one by one. My questions are, for the first point in regard to the ordinance expert, I'm not sure if you've been discussing with Jennifer, but we do have a consultant, and I wanted to see if that's something our consultant could take on potentially. I would assume that they have some level of expertise in ordinances. Maybe you won't be the best person to answer that. Maybe Jennifer can. So rather than hiring a completely separate person, our consultant helps with that. And then the second part about the application is spot on. I think the three main points you gave us are exactly what we need, because we need to be as accessible and simple as possible to get people to apply, especially on our website and whatnot. So I think you covered all the bases. Just that one question about if the consultant can be the same as the ordinance experts. Do we have an answer on that? Maybe Jennifer or you might know that.
Sure, Commissioner Isidorian, thank you for that question. I think it's a really, really wonderful question. And to answer that, the Labas Projects, who is currently hired as our art consultant, they of course have worked with different municipalities on public art. But what I believe Feline was referring to is a specific expert in working with developing ordinances. So basically a law expert. That is not Labas Projects expertise. But Director Schaefer, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, that I would just say that we would definitely like to, look into someone who can help us guide this to make sure we, don't make any amateurish mistakes, even though Feline did some great research for us. So, I just I heartily agree with that and would advocate heavily for that. But someone that has a law background would be helpful, I think.
Okay. That's a great answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairperson Bayar?
Thank you, Feline. That was beautiful. And thank you for the visuals that you included. That was very beautiful presentation, very informative. I was wondering if you said that Los Angeles's process includes or requires community input, and I was just wondering if that how they do that. Did you find out how they actually get input from the community, what their process is?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Vire, for your question. Yes, and I'll say that all the photos on the PowerPoint were from the cities that I was presenting on. I could have probably mentioned that. Perhaps it was, yeah, perhaps that was obvious. But yes, to the point of Los Angeles and getting community input, it's part of the application process. So on the application outlined online, there is sort of, this step-by-step process through which you have to notice the community 4 weeks in advance. I believe I might get some of the details wrong, but notify the community 4 weeks in advance. I think the artists hold sort of a conversation where community members can express, their thoughts. And then I think essentially they should fill out kind of the form to show that they have completed this step of the application. So it's a pretty straightforward kind of thing that you must complete in order to complete the application. But it's not, I think it's relatively easy to do because kind of the resources are provided for you to basically create this this community input session. Yeah.
Okay, but it is the artist. It's completely up to the artist to get that input. The commission itself doesn't hold any kind of public like forum or anything.
No, that's only for so I looked more particularly into sort of the private non-city property mural application process. So yes. My understanding is that for city property murals, the commission is involved and that like an applicant has to present to the commission. But for projects that are on non-city property, the artist does this process independent of the commission and brings it back to the staff of the Department of Cultural Affairs, who then approves the mural. So in the city of LA, the commission is not involved in decisions on non-city property murals, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. That was a good question. And Commissioner Vidor, any questions or concerns?
Not really concerns. Thank you so much, Feline. Great. And, you know, your presentation, not only was it really good and exciting to see us actually having this level of discussion about it, but it was really reassuring because, you know, obviously these cities are ones we admire. I've been to Portland, fabulous, and we all love what West Hollywood does for sure. So it was nice to be able to see sort of the light at the end of the tunnel. But I guess I would, before we go into ordinance prep, I just would think that we would like to take a really close look and evaluation of whether or not we need an ordinance. It seems like there's a very successful program, maybe the role model program for us in West Hollywood without it. Or maybe we can come up with something very simple that deals with some of the legal issues that we wouldn't put in a guideline, but that most everything would be in a guideline. And, you know, I'll say my questions and then maybe you can comment, and Jennifer and anybody else who wants to comment. So that would be one thing. And then also, obviously, the difference between temporary and permanent murals, you know, we've dealt with that a lot. What's the difference, you know, what's permanent, what's temporary? And I like the 2-year minimum idea seemed very good. And I hope we can really get a good fix on that. But, you know, on the question of the ordinance, it seems as though, you know, we already have a very well fleshed out public art ordinance. We have ordinances already that include all kinds of art. And I see it as like there's no reason they couldn't also include murals. So I guess I just go back to let's think very carefully about whether we want to create, because it seems complicated. Maybe, you know, to ordinance experts, maybe it isn't. But, you know, I've heard rumors that they're making changes in it. So it's been a little bit problematic. Another thing is, you know, there's been a lot of talk lately on other subjects in the community about traffic calming and pedestrian safety and all kinds of things. And I hope that we can flesh out and validate the idea of having murals and decorative art on the street pavement itself, because that's something that it seems like there's a call for that now in the city. And I think in the past, Public Works has been a little reticent to that. And I just wondered what in delving into these things, what your experience was there with that type of thing. Let me see if there was anything else. Yeah, I loved LA's experimental and innovative remarks. I think we've got to put a little bit of clout in there about really bringing out the best muralists with the best ideas. So wonderful groundwork for us, and we thank you so much. So any reactions or anything?
Sure. If I may, Feline, but just quickly step in. First of all, Commissioner Vidor, thank you so much for your comments. Those are really thoughtful and depth conversations that we have to have. And I think Feline laid a wonderful groundwork in regards to what different cities are doing. As you mentioned, City of West Hollywood does not have an ordinance. City of LA does. And I think this is where the assessment was, should we or could we hire a public art ordinance consultant to help us guide what might be best for the city of Glendale? Exactly to your point, in the sense that we have a robust urban art fund ordinance. Do we need to have another specific mural ordinance? So that's to answer that question. But Feline or Dr. Schaefer, please chime in.
No, I think you covered it well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both. I will echo those points. One thing, Commissioner Vidor, that you brought up was the point of the temporary or the timeline of how long a mural should be up, and I think this is like an important point to think about, because kind of with different people that I spoke to and also different like videos that I watched and articles that I read, a lot of the time there was discussion on this idea that murals like are temporary kind of in their, I guess, in their existence. And that sort of, I guess it could be viewed in that way as well. So kind of knowing that like when a mural is installed, it's probably not going to be there forever, but like it should be maintained well for the period that it's there for. And I think when a city sets out clear kind of expectations for how long a mural can be, and then at what point can you renew, your mural and etc., then that really like helps to avoid any issues, I guess, that might come up also like legally and etc. So I think that's certainly a discussion to have, when the time comes. So that's my one comment on that.
Thank you. It's great.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Feline, and for your very concise and comprehensive presentation. Thank you to my fellow commissioners for your comments. I think you answered a lot of questions, and I think we have a few things that we need to look at. So do we get to vote now, or?
Yes, you would vote to accept the report.
Okay. So do we have someone who would like to move the motion?
I move to accept the report and file.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Zadorian,
Yes.
Bayar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Yank,
Yes.
Chairperson Defencion.
Yes.
Item 5E, report on KORO Fellow and Public Affairs Spring Placement, April through May 2021. 5E1, motion to approve funding of a KORO Leadership Fellow and Public Affairs Spring Placement, April through May 2021, in an amount not to exceed $7,000 from the 2021 six-month work plan.
Thank you so much, Yvonne and Chair Defencion, for allowing this opportunity. As Feline had just mentioned, we were very, very excited to work with Feline in the KORO Fellows program, as she did a phenomenal job, as she just shared, on the mural assessment. Moving forward with this particular placement, Feline mentioned part of her initial work in January and February with us was the government placement, which was a very short, about 4-week period that she was with us. The KORO Fellows Program in Public Affairs does offer a spring placement in which the fellow can continue the work that they had been working on. So this spring placement would envision Feline and or a KORO Fellow working with us to develop the mural criteria, the mural application process, and would really bring a springboard from the work that she had been doing as context.
Okay. Do we have, are we going to have a conversation about this or just approve it?
You're welcome to have a conversation, or you can move to approve.
Is this money for the continuation, right? For what you just mentioned, the development of the application, etc.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Vice Chair Yang, any questions?
No.
Commissioner Zadorian?
Nope.
Commissioner Vyar?
No.
Commissioner Vidor?
Nope.
Okay. So I guess we can go ahead and take a vote.
I'll make a motion to approve funding of a KORO Leadership Fellow in Public Affairs Spring Placement in the amount not to exceed $7,000 from the 2021 six-month work plan.
Second.
Commissioner Zadorian,
Yes.
Bayar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Yank,
Yes.
Chairperson Defencion.
Yes.
Item 5F, report on reckoning racism and resistance in Glendale virtual exhibit update. At 5F1, motion to note and file.
Thank you so much, Commissioners. We are delighted to have Curator Shannon Curry-Holmes with us to bring an update on the Reckoning Racism and Resistance in Glendale virtual exhibit. Shannon, are you here?
I am.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me this afternoon.
Okay, did you want to go ahead and present and talk about your? I've watched it online and it's fantastic.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Very informative and very well done.
Thank you, thank you. And today we're just doing a quick update on the exhibition and also to let you know where we're at with the public art project with April Bay. I have a slide presentation I'm hoping that Jennifer is able to show.
Sure. Shannon, I'm going to pull up, if it's okay with you, the trailer first, just because it's unembedded. So I will do that first. Yeah.
Sure. So this is the trailer for Reckoning. We made this trailer all on Zoom, so it's kind of impressive, I think. Is the volume on?
Sound's not working.
Yeah, we just need the volume.
It's kind of unfortunate. It's very complicated when you're on these kind of platforms to get the sound working. So it's typically another setting within the software. So not sure we'll be able to get it.
I see. Well, then I encourage you all to see it online.
I apologize. I'm hearing it loud and clear on my end. I don't know what the issue is. It might be something with WebEx, so I apologize. I can send it to the commissioners after the meeting.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you. Thanks so much, Jennifer. So I hope all of you had a chance to visit the site, and then perhaps by visiting the exhibition, this trailer comes up right away, and so you can see it. And it really does give a great just introduction to what we're trying to do here in this exhibition. But it's been a very well received so far, and we've had this great connection with the Glendale Unified School District, and the teachers have been using teaching the episode each week to their students, their senior students mainly, and it's been an exceptionally well received. I'm sort of a bit shocked by it all. I was expecting a little bit of it's heavy subject matter, but I think people are very open and receptive to it. So it's been a wonderful reception to it so far. So we should move along, and I'll show you let you know what's happening with April Bay. So this is just a reminder. You've already seen this slide a few times now. These are the portals. So if you haven't visited the site, I just wanted to show you what the 360-degree portals look like, where we're trying to connect the archive, the past archival materials to present-day Glendale. And we have each portal is representative of one of these topics that we're discussing in each episode. If you do have this presentation in your email, you can actually click on those and they'll take you directly to their links. So they'll take you directly to the portal so you can explore it on your own later. We can move to the next slide, and we'll move right into April Bay, which is really sort of the excitement here. So I'm really excited to say that April Bay responded very well to the archives. We were very pleased with the artwork that she has created for us for this public art project. We had asked her to respond to the archives, but knowing her work, we were really hoping that she would actually use some of the archival material actually within her physical work. And she has done that. And so she selected a few of our archival materials to incorporate into this advertisement. And as we explained, I explained in the presentation of April's work, these will be placed in public spaces and traditional advertising spaces. And so the artwork that she has created centers around a very sort of eye-catching, quite beautiful almost high fashion magazine looking advertisement for this fictitious brand of colonial swag, which of course that speaks to the idea of colonialism and and also the idea of appropriation. Also, it speaks to this historical context by using the archival materials. And so you can see some of the archival materials that are made in the woman's crown, like the Jewel City of Glendale, her jeweled crown, but also the full piece is on the left, and I've done a detailed piece in the slide to the right, so that you could see how she's utilized the archival material in this piece. But if you go to the next slide, and again, I hope you take time to take a look at it because her artwork is very, very detailed. But if you go to the next slide, I can show you a little more detail in the woman's skirt. So she has used traditional Dutch fabrics and pattern designs and made those pattern designs with the archival materials. And so in the one panel of the skirt, the largest panel of the skirt, it's actually a raised fist, a photo of a raised fist, which is calling to the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's done in this very traditional Dutch fabric design. You'll also see the Glendale crest is in the red piece of material is the Glendale crest. And you can also see some of the full story articles in that sort of turquoisey blue panel on the skirt. And so she's really incorporated all of these materials. We were so thrilled that she was able to do it in such a beautiful and effective way to make this false fashion magazine, and it's beautiful to look at, but also it has impact because of the title of colonial swag. And then of course this image will take you to the archival material as well and to the exhibition. And so we're very, very excited about what April has been able to produce for us. And we're really excited to get this out into the public sphere, which on our side, everything is working on time and in order. But I did want to let you know we've had a very small change in how we have to present this. We think that we can move forward without any hiccups, and we're kind of strategizing how we can work around this very small problem. And it's not a problem, it's actually something that's very positive for the city, which is City Council has recently directed staff to place public health banners in the locations that we originally planned for April's work, which is on those light pole banners. And it's sending a public health message around COVID-19 for the use of face masks. And because of that being a real necessary thing to have up in this global pandemic that we're still in, that sort of is a priority, is that we are able to provide that space in the public sphere and provide those flagpole banners for this a really important public health safety program that is going forth. But it will most likely impact our original locations for this project. Right now, from what I understand, is that they're looking at doing 50 banners. We have far more than 50 banner places to place this artwork than that. So we still feel like we can move forward with this, and we're strategizing about where and how and what kind of impact, whether we need to shift things, more into other advertising elements. But we're working right now to strategize on that, and we will keep the commission updated regarding every single thing about that. And if it affects our timeline in any way, we'll just keep communicating with you around those changes that have just come up. And that's the entirety of the presentation. Thank you so much.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you. Shannon, I think, actually, I'll let my fellow commissioners go first. Vice Chair Yank?
I love this work. I'm really excited about what she came up with. And yeah, no less than I would expect. So yes, congratulations. I think this is very exciting. I'm just curious about, maybe you can just say a little bit more in terms of the criteria through which you're thinking about where you might look for the ideal placement of the banner, since you're not able to use the ones that you initially wanted to. Do you have a certain criteria in mind where you're trying to identify other ones?
I'd love to say that I don't actually have a clear idea of where the face mask banners are going to go, and so we're waiting to hear back from the city to understand exactly where they're needing their placements. That will be, we'll work around. We'll be able to formulate a plan once we have an idea first of where they're going to be placing the face mask banners.
I think, as Shannon had said, Gary Schaefer, Director of Library Arts and Culture, trying to turn on my video there. That, as she said, there's more than enough banner placements, or places for them. So I think it's just working with both to make sure that, both the public health message as well as this message gets out there. So I think given that we were unsure as recent as yesterday if they were going to be doing every light pole in the city, turns out they're not. So I think we'll be able to get this, in some really great places around the city. So thank you.
I think we lost Gary.
Sorry, I was done. Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Chairperson Zadorian?
Commissioner now, but I actually do not have,
yes, sorry.
I do not have any questions. I'm just very much looking forward. Very much. Thank you very much.
And Commissioner Villar?
It's beautiful. I'm speechless. Thanks, Shannon. It's great.
And Commissioner Vidor?
Oh, wonderful. The exhibit is fabulous. I've been to a couple of the episodes already, and it's just dazzling. And I hope that the whole city of Glendale really embraces and kind of leans into this whole thing, because the amount of work and research that went into it is spectacular. And I did go on, what's his name? Mr. Lewin, the guy who wrote the book Sundown Town. I went on his website recently, and he has added, what's going on in Glendale, which was very nice to see, because before it was all just the bad news about Glendale and nothing about the next steps that we're taking. So congratulations on all your hard work. And that's really great about April Bay. Are these banners like the kinds of banners are they the shape of the banners that go on light posts? Can they go like in bus stops or something? Would that be an option? Or
they're going on, so the two locations that we pinpointed as being the most effective, especially now during COVID, is those flagpole banners and the backlit bus shelters. So we have
great.
The budget included the bus shelters as well as the flagpole banners. So that's also an option. If we have some limitations on flagpole banners, we could always shift to having more bus stop shelters. And so that was that's where we're just waiting to hear about how many and what are the placement of those flagpole banners. So we could, if we need to, we can make adjustments in other ways. So yes, absolutely. The transit shelters that are backlit, those are beautiful and they show up well at night. So no matter what time of day, they show up really well on the street. So
Great. And you'll let us all know where they are, like you'll put out a thing about that. That's great.
Oh, absolutely. And I will pass along your that you're enjoying April's work. I was again so pleased when she showed it to us. It was probably the first time I've ever had a commission where I was just like speechless. Perfect. Well done. And I hope that you spend some time with it, because it really is, it's so exciting to see it when you go in close and you look at the detail that she's put into it. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Shannon.
Okay, thank you, Shannon, and congratulations to you, to Ara, and to Anahit, because this is an amazing, amazing exhibition. And I encourage everyone to take some time and really explore the exhibition. Reckoning Racism and Resistance in Glendale is truly an important exhibit, and April's work is truly amazing, and I think it embodies the whole message that and brings it to a very contemporary light. And I would love to see this whole exhibit continue and live on. And I think we might have talked about having it on our arts and culture website.
We can absolutely link it to the Arts and Culture website, but the beauty of these virtual exhibits is all of the Reflect Space exhibits that we've been doing these last few months are still available and can be viewed. So these will continue on, absolutely.
Can I make just one comment about the distribution of this exhibit? I just noticed that if you Google it, like you Google Reckoning Glendale, the actual exhibition site is not on the first page. It's all the Glendale Library Arts and Culture links to it, which is great. But then if you go into some of the links, like it doesn't have the actual website on it. So maybe that's something just to look through and audit our pages and just make sure that that web link is being updated so that people can find it. Because I actually had to like go back to emails and sort through and find where people had sent me the link to the website. And maybe it's an SEO thing. Maybe there's like an expert who can kind of help with the SEO of that website. It's not showing up on Google. So minor things, but I think it's so important that now that it's coming out, if there's a little bit more bandwidth to really make sure that like it's making it out into the public sphere in a big way.
Thank you. Good suggestion.
Great suggestion. Yes, thank you. And Shannon, I think I read somewhere that there's going to be new material that's going to be added on a regular basis.
It's every Monday. Every Monday, a new episode is released. And so far we've had 3 episodes. The first one was called All American City, dealing with racial covenants and the building of Glendale. Mm-hmm. The second episode, it was dealing with the KKK in Glendale and the history of the Ku Klux Klan in Glendale. Our third episode was the American Nazi Party in Glendale and the history of the Nazi Party in Glendale. And our next episode, which will be released on Monday, is dealing with modern white supremacy. And so sort of the white supremacist groups that have developed post-World War II and post-civil rights movement. So that's where we're really focusing on. Our 5th episode will be looking at sundown town practices. And then our 6th episode, which is I'm very excited about, is the Be the Change episode. It's really everything that the city of Glendale is working towards now to work in anti-racism. So that will be our 6th episode that will be released, the final episode.
Thank you. Very exciting. So very much of a living and growing experience. And I encourage people to, the public to visit it often. So thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer, this is not something that there would be a motion to approve, or?
We have a motion to note and file. So we would need a commissioner to move it and second it.
Okay. And who would like to?
I can go ahead and make a motion to note and file.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, thank you. And roll call, please.
Commissioner Zadorian?
Yes.
Bayar?
Yes.
Vidor?
Yes.
Vice Chair Yank?
Yes.
Chairperson Defencion?
Yes.
Item 5G, report on culturally specific calls for artists. At 5G1, motion to approve the temporary postponement in releasing culturally specific calls for artists until after a cultural equity, and inclusion plan has been established in order to set the tone of the Commission's programmatic initiatives and calls for artists.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairperson Defencion and Commissioners. This report is in regards to a conversation that the Commission had at the February 4th special meeting when we discussed culturally specific calls for artists. I believe it was Vice Chair Yank who had recommended the development of a cultural equity and inclusion plan. So staff is recommending that we move forward in establishing a cultural equity and inclusion plan, and in the interim, take a temporary postponement on the release of culturally specific calls for artists. We currently do have our Armenian Genocide Remembrance Month call for artists has been released. So that will be the last one as a temporary postponement until a cultural equity and inclusion plan has been established.
Thank you, Jennifer. Do we want to have a conversation about this? Is this something that we're going to, okay. And Vice Chair Yank?
I don't have any comments right now. I proposed it, so I'm agreeing with the motion right now.
Okay. Commissioner Zadorian?
I currently do not have any questions. I just want to look over it one more time, but if you want to go ahead and skip me, and if I have any questions, we can come back to me.
Commissioner Villar?
No, I don't. I think we discussed it, and I remember the discussion around it, and this seems appropriate to me too.
Okay. And Commissioner Vidor?
Yeah, it was a great idea and it's something we should go forward with. I would like to know who and specifically what calls we are going to be canceling and what the optics of that might be, because we did agree originally to, I think, roll out a certain number of calls that were specific to certain cultural or ethnic identities, whether or not we can mitigate some of the issues that came up with the Black History Month call for these other calls at the same time that we're producing this this report and getting to kind of the final decision on how we want to handle things. I just want to take a quick look at that because I think, we need to make sure that we're not actually hurting somebody by canceling a call when it would be perfectly acceptable to go ahead with some mitigating language as part of the call. So I just would be interested in hearing people's comments on that.
Sure. I will just quickly chime in regards to the calls that we were planning to release, which was in June, we were going to release a Black Lives Matter Juneteenth call for artists. And then also in June, we were going to release an LGBTQIA+ call for artists. But Director Schaefer, is there anything to add to that?
Just that I think, the work we're doing with April Bay, the interaction that we're having with students, I think, if anything, it answers that criticism of why do we just get this 1 month? So we are moving beyond Black History Month to do calls for, that engage or art that engages African-American artists. And I would also say, we're just trying to be sensitive. The commission isn't going anywhere. So we can always revisit these calls in future years. We can't, the number of calls is also a challenge. We have a lot going on right now. We still have a lot of things that need to happen. And so even from a workload level, I think this is the best course of action. Let's hire a consultant to advise us so that we move forward in a culturally sensitive way when we do these kind of calls, would be my recommendation. Thank you. Sorry, I need to say thank you.
All right. Thank you, Gary. So what would be next? Do we, I would propose that we put it on our agenda to discuss or put an RFP to hire a consultant to advise us? Is that something that would...
So we're actually talking to a few firms right now and ascertaining is the RFP the best way to move forward, because we'd like to do it sooner than later. Obviously, city has purchasing requirements, so we're looking into that right now. So it has certainly not fallen off our radar. We see it as highly important thing that needs to happen. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And I guess as soon as that is done, then we can go back and send the artist call for BLM and LGBTQ.
It unfortunately, Chair Defencion, is not going to happen that quickly. You know, by the time we get a consultant on board, they study our situation, make recommendations. I would think for next year, we certainly could have something in place, but know that for the Be the Change programming, we are actually, the library is doing a great deal of programs around the 1-year anniversary of the protest that happened obviously last year. We're also going to be doing programming around LGBTIQ lives. So we're not, you know, losing sight of any of those things. We will have focus on those. It's just whether we do a specific call for artists. And I think given the timing and work that April's doing for us, I think we're addressing, you know, African-American lives at this time, but that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now I guess we're going to have a motion to note and file, or Jennifer?
Yes, this is a motion to approve the temporary postponement in releasing culturally specific calls for artists until after the cultural equity and inclusion plan has been established in order to set the tone of the Commission's programmatic initiatives and calls for artists.
All right,
So
who wants to take that one?
I will go ahead and make that motion as Jennifer stated.
Second.
Go ahead.
Commissioners Zadorian,
Yes.
Bayar,
Yes.
Fedor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Yank,
Yes.
Chairperson Defencion.
Yes.
Item 6, discussion items. At 6A, 2021 6-month work plan progress.
Thank you. This is a very quick update in regards to citywide arts. The Support the Arts Grant and Funding Round application number 2 is open and closes this Friday, February 19th at 5 p.m. So if you know of any arts and cultural organizations that have not yet applied to this opportunity, we highly recommend that they apply soon. And as I mentioned earlier, the Armenian Genocide Remembrance Month call for artists is currently open and closes on February 28th. And those are the updates for the 6-month work plan progress.
And Jennifer, where can they apply for the grant? Is it on our website?
Correct. If you go to glendaleartsandculture.org, there's a drop-down menu that has a list of our programs, and both opportunities are listed there.
Thank you. Okay. If there's no questions or concerns, we can move to the next item.
Item 7, Commission staff comments.
Chairperson Yank.
No comments from me right now.
Commissioner Zadorian.
I also do not have any comments.
Commissioner Vyar.
Just that we saw a couple of really great presentations today, and thank you for Jennifer for getting those together for us. And, yeah.
And Commissioner Vidor.
No comments. Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I guess we can go on to the next item. Do we have any written communications?
No written communications.
Okay. I guess then we go on to the next item, adjournment.
Yes. Item 9, adjournment.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.